Your girlfriend was cleaning rooms, wasn't she?
Went there for Christmas, and there's loads of them there, because that's like really close to America. That's like Blackpool is to Manchester type
It's
thing.
exactly like that.
So it's
I think that's the analogy a lot of Americans use.
So
But I think they call it the tropical Blackpool.
but they were going on.
They're selling all the brochures, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And serious now, but
Yeah,
we were going
serious.
on about the September 11th thing.
Yeah.
But they call it the, of course, this is American. Of course,
Brilliant.
the 9/11.
The 9/11.
That's what they call it.
Really? Oh, that's awful. That is, so it's like people who say 24/7.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm working
Americans
my
say
ass
that.
off 24/7.
Well, Americans that say that. Well, they're allowed though.
Oh, Americans are. It's,
Yeah.
I'm talking about an English person who might say it.
Yeah.
Fool. Yeah, no, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Do that American accent again.
Yeah, of course, the 9/11.
Where are you from?
What?
Which part of America is that?
That's how they sounded in Barbados.
Sure.
Sure.
Can
But
you do any other impression?
But Carl doesn't. I very much doubt that Carl likes newfangled countries like America.
Yeah.
He doesn't like London.
No, true.
So he's not going
Have
to
you been
like.
to America?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Went to Florida. No, they got me again.
Got on your nerves?
Yeah. Went for some food.
Yeah.
And it was the last few days. I didn't take much money with me, and we were in Florida, and we were hungry, and we went for some steak, and we had our dinner and that, and I think it's their equivalent to the Angus Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Right.
And sat down, had the steak, and that's huge, big portions. But anyway, we didn't have much money left, and we had like another 2 days left, so we didn't leave. We didn't have much money for a tip. Do you know over there they expect it?
Yeah, a big tip, yeah.
So we left what we could, and I don't know what it was. It might have only been the equivalent to 60 pence.
Yeah.
But he didn't have to do that much. We didn't have loads of courses because we didn't have much money. So he brought us like the main course, and I don't know, a couple of Diet Cokes. And anyway, left them the 60p.
Yeah.
On the way out, and he comes running over. Excuse me, sir, you can have this back. Because it wasn't enough. I mean,
Yeah.
it's outrageous.
What did you say?
I said, all right then. 'Cause we didn't have, well, I needed it. I mean, I thought
Yeah.
it was nice to leave them something, but obviously it wasn't enough, so he got us a couple of more.
Is it good
Cokes.
fun with you on holiday? I mean, do you enjoy yourself?
Yeah.
Do people go with you on holiday?
I get bored after about 4 days.
You surprise me.
What do you expect out of a holiday, Carl? What do you go
Sort
for?
of soak up some of the culture.
Yeah.
You liar! You liar!
What did you learn about Barbados while you were there?
A lot of crabs on the beach.
I just imagine him sitting there with his knotted hanky on his head.
People little sparkle as they're walking down the street. Can't see their faces, but I've noticed.
I like that.
Not bad.
Bit of Gary Newman there. That's Richard X and Sugar Babes. Are Freaks Electric.
Is that one of those things where they've taken one song and they've laid it over the top of the other?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's good. No,
No, it's good.
I like that. Good.
Yeah, it's good. Classy.
Yeah. Well, we're nearly done, aren't we?
We are almost finished,
A
which is a
couple
shame.
of great tracks.
We've had a few
maybe.
laughs.
Maybe we've had a few laughs, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly.
I've perked up.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah,
You've
no,
lost it
I-
here
I-
a bit though. You feel a bit. It sounds like you're a bit down again.
Well, it's, that's just 2 hours work in
Okay.
one long
Sure.
stretch.
Yeah.
I reckon we could do a 3 hour show now.
No.
No?
No.
Skin of the teeth, sort of just.
Yeah, we barely got away with this.
Really?
This is beginning to fall apart now.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Oh.
But yeah,
it's
we've
been
had a good
fun,
time.
though.
We've had a few laughs, as I say.
I just think of Carl on the beach. He said he started winding the crabs up because he got bored. He started throwing sand at them. It's like a child's experiment.
When you were in California, you weren't aggravating butterflies, were you? Because that's a misdemeanor.
Scary though. The weather's really freaky
Where
in California.
is it?
Yeah. In the day it's dead nice. Come 6 o'clock it goes black, and then
Right.
the rain comes down. It's freaky.
Is that every single day, Carl? Or was that just the week you were there?
Every day I was there for about a week. It happened every day.
So as far as you're concerned, that happens all year round.
Yeah, good thing.
So what you're saying is if people are booking a holiday, they should be conscious of this, because it will always happen.
Californian
Oh,
tour.
That's
I think
fact.
it does. I think it does.
But why did you start throwing sand at crabs, by the way?
Just because you get bored on the beach. You sat there. You look around.
Yeah.
And then I saw these crabs, and I was watching the way they move around and
Yeah.
what they
Funny,
do,
innit?
sort of to.
That annoy you the way they moved?
No, I mean it works for them.
Good of you.
But it was just what I was weighing up is they're
Yeah.
quite close to the sea, so I
Sure.
was watching the sea come.
They like it close to sea, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they don't like it too close.
No.
So like the sea was coming close to them, they'd run towards me.
Yeah.
So as the sea came in to them, I was chucking sand the other way, and it was like, ooh,
They didn't know what to do.
they didn't know where to go.
Really?
Yeah.
How long did that keep you occupied for?
The last 3 days I was there. maybe.
Have you ever seen, I don't know if I've described this before, do you remember a classic Paul Daniels episode where Paul is having tea with some baboons, I think? Chimps, full circle. And he's got a little box, and inside the box is a mirror. And he gives it to the chimp, and it looks in the box, and it's confused by its own reflection. It can't figure it out. So it's looking behind the box, trying to figure out, is there another monkey behind it?
Yeah.
It goes on like that. It's dazed and confused. It was there for weeks, just staring into it. I imagine you're a bit like that on the beach with the
Yeah,
crabs.
that's great.
I think that's my analogy.
Like,
Paul
yeah.
Daniels chimps.
Yeah, I kept a crab once for a week when we went to Bognor. It was me, my mum, and my nan in an.
Oh, party time! Oh man, alive!
Look, you haven't
never
lived. You haven't lived until you've woken up to the sound at 3 o'clock in the morning of your nan having a wee in a tin bucket and echoing round a caravan.
Man alive!
Yeah, I was about 9.
You brought a chick back.
I was about 9, right? And I just kept a crab in a first day I
In the
found it
bucket?
in a. I don't know where it came from. No, I found it on the beach and I brought it back and I kept it in a little bowl in the sink. And then the last day, it started to smell a bit. And then the last day, my mum said, "Go and put it back." And I went and put it back. So I had a pet crab for a week.
And did it die? What happened to it?
No, it just got bored.
Sure.
It just it didn't do a lot.
Did it start throwing sand at you? Oh, listen, I think we better play some music because we've got a few songs to squeeze in. I just wanted to play a track. I was watching MTV the other day and I was a bit confused.
Yeah, so was I like that.
Because I saw a video for the Electric Soft Parade's Silent to the Dark,
Yeah.
but it was called Silent to the Dark 2, but it was the same song. It sounds like they've redone it. The video is different to the old video. I was very confused. Hopefully someone will phone in and solve it for me. Anyway, this is the original Silent to the Dark. Still a good track. Let's hear it, Carl. Silent to the Dark, the debut single by the Electric Soft Parade.
I like that.
Yeah.
Very good choice there.
Apparently discovered by XFM, is that right, Carl?
Yeah, sent a tape into Claire Sturgis.
You see?
Big time now.
What did she do with it? Sold it.
Yeah,
Got a little £5 starter bag of Skag,
exactly. Oh,
and the
bless her.
rest is history. Well, I've enjoyed myself.
I have.
But can I just say, we don't just muck around and do stupid things and play great music. We're also informative. And
We
I'm
are.
going to leave London with this tip that Carl, for no reason, just told me. Do you want to do it, Carl, or shall I tell him what you just said?
Rick, we haven't got much time, you better explain it.
Yeah,
Okay. If you got, he said, you've been on the Millennium Wheel. I went, no. He went, well, if you do, here's a tip. Go when there's lots of disabled people on there. And I was up for it. I went, why? He went, you get more for your money. Because they have to keep stopping and letting them off. You get an extra 6 minutes. Alright?
Good, solid advice if you're
So
maybe
do
going to
that
go there
then.
today or tomorrow.
Yeah. Thanks.
Song for the ladies, Rick. I'll leave you with Lamb Chop. A lot of people aren't a fan of Lamb Chop for some reason. They don't like the way he sings, but this is a beautiful song.
That's the reason.
Up with people. See ya.
Bye.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left.
From your grave.
That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that? Ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Should we put headphones in?
If you want it. I want a headphones.
I want a headphones.
Where's my headphones? They're not in here.
Just keep
Right
looking,
on.
Henry.
Just
Oh,
keep
Henry, you
looking.
gotta be able to
Just
find
keep,
these
just,
headphones.
Henry, I'm not gonna
Follow
tell
the
you where
cord,
they are.
Henry.
No, those are the wrong ones. What do you mean?
The ones that are
now I
right
can hear
in
me.
Oh, there are ones right in front of your face. They're right there. They're 6 inches away from you. All right. Welcome to the
I'm
show.
not a fucking detective. I'm a podcast comedian.
All right. That's Marcus Sparks. I'm Ben Kissel. With us as always.
Detective Henry Zabrowski.
I thought you weren't a
If there's a
detective.
thing to find, I can find it.
What?
You tell me to find something, especially if it's directly in front of my face. I'm gonna find the living shit out of it.
You couldn't find the headphones.
Oh, no, it's because I wasn't getting paid to find it.
All
You
right.
give me a check to find something, I'll find it, even if it's inside you. And I'm talking to you, ladies.
Oh, God, I don't think. I have a feeling they might not be paying you for that.
Let me find what's inside you, ladies. I think it's hymen.
Very nice, Detective Henry Zabrowski. Well, speaking of disgusting things and creepy scenarios, today we're going to be doing a little segment called
Scenarios.
Scenarios. We're doing a little program called D-Celebrity Ghost
D-list
Stories.
celebrity hauntings.
And by the way, guys, happy 50th episode.
Oh, is this it? Two farts for your 50th episode.
Yeah. My
Nice.
grandfather just got 2 bullets in the back of his head.
Why?
That's not true. It's
No.
Okay.
Detective Henry Zabrowski, solving crimes and finding things.
Yeah, so we're gonna be interviewing a bunch of our good D-list celebrity friends, and we're gonna hear some of their tales, and we're gonna allow them to speak uninterrupted.
Uninterrupted.
Uninterrupting Henry Zabrowski.
I don't interrupt. I'm just gonna keep doing this. No, you're not. I'm gonna make it better. Yeah. I'm gonna ruin this podcast.
Good. I like it. So yeah, do we want to talk about? This is obviously based off the that show on Bio, where they're like celebrity ghost stories or whatever. When you know it's all like washed up soap stars from the '90s, but we got some real legitimate people coming in to talk to you guys today.
Absolutely, because people I know are craving more knowledge about the stars of Cave Comedy Radio. And
Yes.
this is some of the people that you get to see more of their inner world, their
That's right.
ghost world.
That's right.
I have no haunting stories. This is why I bring people in. It's because it's like I never seen a ghost. Ghosts won't appear to me. Apparently, I'm not sensitive.
Nope.
And I'm just like, what do you mean?
But detectives have to be very sensitive to the surroundings around them, Henry.
Oh, no, I just bash my way through mysteries. Kick open doors, I push women down, I find things.
Interesting.
That's what I
I
do.
like it. The closest thing that I have to a haunting is that there's a Ouija board that I'm staring at right now, and we used to play with one when I was in high school, and we had a gal named Deb, and she would make the cat go crazy, and she nearly killed my friend Josh Kahns. He was putting chips all over the Ouija board. I think he dabbed his balls on it at one point.
We're supposed to have we're going to have a Ouija board story here as well soon.
Fantastic. I truly believe in the Ouija board. And he was driving home one night, and a whole bunch of different things started happening with his car. Cars coming towards him started turning off their headlights, and deer running all around. Anyway, he was very, very terrified. But overall, and my friend Crazy Christian Pete, he saw a ghost in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, and he was so convinced that it was a ghost that he became an evangelical Christian.
Which doesn't mean anything. That's not a reason.
We
That's
talk
fine.
about it a
He
little bit
was
at the end of Edward's story.
Now, and mine was when I was about 7 or 8 years old, I saw a Green Goblin. Not the Marvel villain, not the Spider-Man villain, but he was
throwing pumpkins through my window?
Call J. Jonah Jameson. This is a story.
Yes.
Now, I was staying at my cousin's house in Lubbock, Texas. It was late at night. I woke up and I looked outside of his suburban neighborhood, and I saw on the street in this little cul-de-sac a large green pig demon. There was it was a blob, but it had like a pig's head, but it also looked like kind of ogre-ish. So it was like a pig goblin.
Do you think
Or
that
a goblin pig, if you will.
random Texan man fucked the pig and they had a baby, and then the baby escaped the basement? And
Kill me! Kill me!
kill me!
It was glowing. It was glowing as well.
Sure.
Yeah, and it had a
fine.
little horn.
Yeah, sure, yes.
Yeah,
I believe it.
I was not asleep. I was not asleep. It was not a dream.
I never said that you were asleep or that it was a
I
dream.
tried waking up my cousin. He wouldn't wake up. He was
dead?
under the goblin spell.
Oh, interesting.
The creepy thing that I did discover was I was a part of a group of friends, and I make internal noises when I talk.
I just don't know. It just started happening.
Yeah, today, really, it's
It's been the past 2 weeks.
It's a sausage cheese biscuit that's floating
Okay,
around.
this is one thing. So we meet around 11 o'clock in the morning to record, and Henrik comes downstairs jolly as an apple. And you can imagine if an apple had a personality, they'd be very, very happy. And I said,
Hey,
what's,
guys.
Hey, everybody. What's happening, Henry? And then Henry says, oh, got a sausage and cheddar muffin right here. And then he took a bite.
Is that what I sound like to you?
Really did. And man, I've never seen a human being be more of like the living interpretation of the statement "pig and shit." You were just a pig in the dookiest shit you were loving your life.
But
And
then,
I agree.
the sausage muffin should have been hot.
Right, so he was a little bit unhappy.
Yeah, because it was just kind of like a slimy ball of sausage fat all mixed into cupcake mix.
Yeah.
So that was sometimes Sweet Leaf hits it out of the park, and sometimes they don't.
It's a great coffee shop. Right
Great
next
coffee
door
shop.
here. Yeah.
But me and a group of my friends in elementary school into middle school used to do this thing called Monster Club that we were all, because like super morbid little children, we used to dress all in black. And like I had the whole, like, what was it, the Mysteries and Ancient Mysteries, the book series? The Mysteries, Magic, and...
Mystery Magic. Oh, Myth, Magic, and...
I had that whole set.
Yeah.
And we used to sit
Man,
around
Myth,
and read
and Magic.
Man, Myth, and Magic. And we used to sit and read those and like talk about stuff. And the only thing that I had two scary things that happened, and one was I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, where there is when I was growing up in Queens in Woodhaven, there was a giant it was a very white neighborhood for a long time because it was owned by the mob, and that was like a thing. So it's like, and they're racist, and black people wouldn't live there, and then they left because basically when Gotti died, the whole temperature of the room changed, and he at the time there was an influx of Haitian population that moved in the neighborhood, and they brought with them their religion. So like a part of that was like we talked I think I talked a little bit.
No, you did talk. I remember.
Yes, but we went and we discovered, me and a friend of mine, because there was all these the arrests being made about like animal cruelty and stuff like that because they sacrifice animals in their church practices, and we walked out in the middle of Forest Park in Queens and found a big log circle stained with blood. Everything was stained with blood. That was a crime scene. That was like a voodoo practicing area. And another thing we did is we made our own Ouija board out of a sheet of loose leaf paper because we were really into magic and stuff like that, and we would like do spells and stuff like that, but nothing ever worked. And
it just must have been so difficult for you growing up to fight off all the pussy.
That's the thing.
Because every girl wanted to blow you.
No, we had girls in the group though.
Okay.
The girl I was desperately in love with, and then I gave her a secret admirer note. Right?
Oh, no.
On Valentine's Day, and she met me at a place, and I wore a beret and this jacket, this smoking jacket that I had gotten, and I was like 13.
It's just sad because if we had her in, that would be her ghost story.
I used to wear a beret a lot. I went through a period where I was wearing berets.
Oh. We won't talk about it again. No, that's fine. I'll just forget about that part.
I went through a period where I wore top hats all the time. It's okay.
It's okay. We all did dumb gay things.
Yeah, it was junior high.
Yeah, I was looking for an identity. I was trying to be dramatic.
Yeah, me too. I just like top hats.
Yeah, they're great.
I had a big purple beret.
I had a big green top hat.
I had a character I played called the Flying Grape.
It was the 90s.
My friends. That's true. That is true. I used to play this character. I used to have a purple hoodie. I used to put it on my head and go like, I'm the Flying Grape, and they would laugh and laugh. I was popular.
I'm sure it was very.
There was a
funny.
period of time where I was innocent and pure.
I mean, you're nothing but innocent and pure now. So
no, we did this Ouija board, and we created this circle. And we put out the Ouija board, and we were asking it questions, and then the Ouija board set on fire. That's what I remember, is that the Ouija board caught on fire, and
Nice.
we threw it out, but someone probably just set it on fire.
It's possible. I mean, that's the thing. I'm so confused because going back to the Ouija board, we were playing it at my friend Aaron Sane's house, and we were like, change the DVD player around. We had all the remote controls on the table. And then the DVD tracks just started skipping randomly. Maybe somebody hit it on shuffle. It was very, very possible. But at the time, it was so unbelievably terrifying.
Tiptoe through the window.
Constantly. And we're like, isn't this Pantera? Isn't this supposed to be the fucking new Sepultura album? And so we burned that Ouija board.
The only time I ever tried doing a Ouija board when I was a kid, I was at my friend Julie's house. And it was like there was three of us, me and Julie and Ginger. And we were all trying to play the Ouija board, and in the middle of it, we were asking it questions, and it started moving, and Ginger screamed at the top of her lungs and ran out of the room and wouldn't come back inside.
Nice, and that's how you got Julie alone.
Yeah.
No.
And I pushed it down, and I worked to skirt up 2 weeks.
That was it. That was 15 years of unrequited love.
All right. Well, the stories that we have in from our D celebrities are going to be much better than the 3 that we've shared with you today. So let's just kick it over to some of them now.
Hi, my name's Ashley Brooke Roberts. You might know me from a bar show in Brooklyn called Everyday Dirt that I ran at a place that was closed down because of cocaine. I'm here today to tell you a couple of stories. The first one is a paranormal experience that I had with my best friend in the woods a couple of years ago. It was the winter solstice, and we were planning a sort of witchy celebration to ring in the new year. We put together a bunch of candles and rocks, some like herbs, pot, and sage and things to burn in our ceremony. We had planned it for like a week to just really set the stage for a good year ahead of us. We got some oil lamps. We went into the woods around midnight. This is in North Carolina. It's on her family's old farm. So it's about 200 acres of woodland. And it was winter, so all the leaves were, off the trees. We walked for maybe a mile and a half. We found a good spot in an old riverbed, and we set up shop. We walked out our circle. We put stones around it. We sort of cleansed the circle by burning sage. We said a couple of words, and then we got down to really we put out like a little shrine of like our favorite objects, like a turtle shell and a fox skull and some feathers, and we sat down to have our ceremony, which involved getting high. We smoked some pot just to like break down that fourth wall, fifth wall, sixth wall, break down a lot of walls. So we're trying to break down some walls. And it worked because it had been very clear to me when we were in the woods. It was just like the two of us, and we were talking and we were chatting. And then once we sat down and got high, there was this feeling I've never experienced before, which is prior to that, it felt like we were alone in the woods. And then when we got high, it felt like we were at a humongous party that we hadn't realized. And we had just been walking through this party, and no one was paying attention to us because we couldn't see them. And then all of a sudden, we could see them, and it seemed like everything turned and looked at us. Like, oh, you see us now? And it felt very much like we weren't alone. And then Sarah started saying some words to start, like, this is our intentions, this is the purpose. And she ended by saying, we now invite the spirit of the woods into our circle. And as soon as she did that, we heard a howling, far off. And I said, Sarah, what was that? And she said, that was a coyote. And as soon as she said that was a coyote, we heard it about 5 feet away from us howl again. And we heard the leaves around us move, and we both jumped up and grabbed all of our stuff and started running. And we heard continuous coyote howling as we ran back the 1.5 miles to her house. The timing of that whole thing was like terrifying, goosebump inducing, just because it was literally so off in the distance in the first howl, and the second howl was right next to us. And then there were no coyotes heard on her land again for a long, long time. And then the other thing that I have is there is a barn on my family's land that has a lot of history. It's been there for about 200 years, and it's always been a little creepy, but it got super weird, and a lot of stories about this barn came out after my great-great-uncle hung himself in the barn after the Civil War. And soon after that, then 10 years after that, 2 different times a goat was spotted in the barn, in the middle of the barn, sort of under where he had hung himself. And we don't have goats. We've never had goats. None of the farms around us have goats. And goats are symbols for Satan, so it really freaked out my family. The first time it was spotted was by a kid who ran back and was like, there's a goat in the barn. which is weird. And then all the adults ran there, and there was no goat. The kid was playing hide and seek and ran around the side and ran like face to face to the goat that was just standing in the middle of the barn. And then an adult saw a goat 10 years later in the same spot. Also, there's like an old dead oak tree next to that barn that had been there for as long as anyone could remember. And when my 9-month pregnant mother was getting out of a car with a bunch of people and walking to the old house, which is like next to the barn on top of a hill, a giant swarm of bees came out of the oak tree and chased my pregnant mother. And no one else in the group, just my 9-month pregnant mother, into the house. It wasn't even like she was near the tree or walking by the tree. It was like came out and ran after her. And there's been like a lot of reports of moaning coming from the barn, like never screaming, but people have heard someone moaning, like they thought it was someone was hurt in the barn or something like that. And when I was in high school, I really wanted to spend the night in the barn and record sounds. And everyone in my family was like, absolutely not. There's no way that we're going to let you spend the night in there. So that's that. Those are my stories.
Okay. Oh, yes, very good, very good. Terrifying.
Very funny. Very funny story.
It was. Well, this is great. So you were out in the woods. I don't know. How was the weed? Do you think it was mainly the weed?
Do you think there was a lot of the weed involved?
Well, the thing is that we do this, it was a regular thing. Like, it's happened many, many times that we go out in the woods and get stoned.
Because,
it's never been that creepy.
Aleister Crowley says that weed blocks magical impulses.
Oh, really?
That's his, like, he has a
he's
problem
wrong.
with drugs.
Yeah, he's wrong about a lot of stuff. But don't tell him that to his face.
My guard cut my nose.
Oh, did it?
Oh.
Henry just got injured while doing a podcast. If you wanted to know how out of shape Henry Zabrowski is.
It's ghosts.
So that's very exciting. So how long were you in the woods doing your seance before the coyotes nearly ate you?
I would say a good 30, 40 minutes.
Okay, and this was like the 4th or 5th time you and your friend have gone out to the woods to summon the devil?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I would say way more than that. Like, we've
Okay.
been doing it pretty regularly since high school.
And was this one of the first times that you ever actually sort of experienced something that you felt was paranormal?
Like actually real?
We've experienced other things that were always positive. This was the first thing that was not positive. And it was a couple of things. One is that she did say, like, we invite the spirit of the woods into this circle, which has never been done before.
Well, you're very lucky Ted Nugent didn't just come swinging down with a squirrel tail and a flaming arrow. God damn it.
Because you have a circle to protect you, so you never
Right.
invite stuff into it.
Okay.
So she invited stuff into it. And there is,
Did you see things when you say that, or you just felt like the presence of that you were like in some party that you were invited to? Which also reminds me of Mr. Norrell and what's the new
Mr. Norrell and Jonathan Strange.
Yes,
Yeah.
reminds me of the
Yeah.
party they all go to in
Yeah.
the fairyland.
I didn't see anything, but it did feel like all of a sudden it was like, boom, we're not alone at all.
Yeah.
You're just like with someone, you're talking to them, you're very much
Yeah.
wrapped up in that connection. And then this felt like, oh, there's like 80 million things around us, and they all see us, but we're just not paying attention to them.
Yeah. Now, does a coyote have anything else to do with like anything with your family, or like is there stories of coyotes like any other time? Like, is it a symbol to you?
It's not a symbol to me, but there is a graveyard on her family land, and it turned out we were sort of near the graveyard.
Ooh, cool.
So we hadn't known that because we were walking in the dark. We didn't really know where we were going.
Just
stoned
stoned wandering
in the garden.
Because I also imagine you and her like branches in your hair, like walking around, you remember the last time we went and we did the witch ceremony and nothing happened? It's like, it's always. I hope you find some berries. I do too. You remember that time we found a pumpkin? I do.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. I mean, that
Sounds very innocent and sweet.
No, it is. It sounds like it's very nice and good.
That's basically what it is. Yeah, and we talk about like what we want and like how we feel about the year and stuff. So it's always been good. But I don't know if coyotes have anything to do with her. I should
look up like coyotes in like
yeah,
ghost lore or something like that. I wonder.
Usually the coyote is in Native American lore is usually some sort of god.
Can you tell us?
And isn't it also like a guide too to like the spirit
it can be
world?
it can be a guide to the spirit world. It can be a trickster god.
Marcus,
it can
can
be
we ask
helpful.
you
It
that
could be
question?
a lot of
And
different
could you
things.
answer in Native American voice?
The coyote is mostly a trickster god in many Native American cultures.
Interesting.
That does sound real.
Anything sounds real now.
Some say that the great coyote pished out the world and created all of us.
Ew. So I'm coyote piss?
Yes.
Ah, all right.
all
That explains the smell.
It's the glue that bonds.
A coyote is my spirit animal.
Oh, really?
Yes.
If he was
Cool.
Marcus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I discovered
Desperately trying to sleep with the young version of you.
college was a strange time for me. I traveled around a lot.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm happy you survived the New York Coyote demon attack.
Thanks,
and,
man.
And the ghost story just reminds me of Holden in a ghost mask wandering through the barn going like, yeah.
Well, I did enjoy the barn ghost story indeed. So your uncle was in the Civil War. Was he Union or Confederate?
What do you think?
I just want to get the answer. I'm just getting answers here. I'm just getting answers here. You never know. We might have traveled up
It
north.
wasn't my uncle. It was my great uncle. You know, just
Okay.
so we know.
She's not a 7-year-old
I'm not-
woman.
That's fine. What am I getting yelled at for? I didn't fucking hold slaves like your family did. But no, I think that's really interesting. Then you got a goat that appears
Yeah.
right underneath where he hung himself. That was what was really creepy to me. I mean,
Baphomet.
Yeah.
yeah, it's very, very possible. And if he was a Confederate soldier, it is possible that he was in hell. So, I mean, that's kind of fascinating.
Again, it just sounds like that whole area, everything that was touched by the Civil War is always like drenched with ghosts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Because
does
it was
seem
a
that
bad
way.
one.
Yeah.
It's what Afghanistan's going to be like real soon.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine how haunted the deserts of Afghanistan are.
Oh, my God.
Oh, but ghosts is exploding. They're so hot.
They're so hot all the time, and no one's around. Oh, there is no sadder existence than just being a lonely ghost in the desert of Afghanistan.
Except being an open mic comedian in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
that would be the other worst one.
Open mic comedian in Cleveland.
But thank you so much for scaring us with your tales.
Yeah, no problem.
really enjoyed
Glad
it,
I
yes.
could.
All right, that's Ashley Brooke Roberts, everybody.
You're going to make my chair smell so nice.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
sitting in Henry's
Get me
chair.
outta
That is
here.
so gross, Henry.
Get me
Are you going to
out.
sniff the chair? Do you sniff those chairs?
Are you one of those? Are you a seat sniffer? No. Are you a closet seat sniffer? No.
Oh, my God.
I like to get to know people.
Like a dog.
Hello, my name is Ed Larson. You might know me from the Round Table of Gentlemen. And I had a small spot on this Nintendo 3DS show. I was Balthazar. It's called 3Diots. It could be also known as 3DS, 3Diots, 3 Idiots. 7 people downloaded it onto their Nintendo 3DS.
7?
I think 107. All right, so anyway, I got a couple weird little ghost stories. Whenever I tell them, I always preface it, like, I don't know if it's real, but the shit was weird, and it happened to me. So the first one is I was walking out of my bedroom with my buddy Corey. He was sleeping over. We were like 12 or 11. And we walk out of my bedroom, and I look down this long hallway, and there's a man sitting in my father's chair. And it was like a weird blue outline of a dude. And we were just like, I was like, hey, Dad. No answer. And then Corey's like, hey, Mr. Jerry, what's going on? Just no answer. And then as we walked closer, the figure disappeared. And then we just went to the other room and went to sleep. And then, I was scared. What am I going to do? So that's that story. And then that same house, it was a brand new house. It was a brand new development. We were all the first people to live in that development, but a lot of people who lived in that development always complained about ghosts and abnormal things happening to them in their homes. I used to always, lots of doors shutting. It's a brand new house, no windows are open, so there's no reason for doors to be shutting and closets opening and stuff like that. And I would always misplace things for weeks on end, and then all of a sudden they'd be sitting on top of my television or right on top of my desk. I could be a moron. But, you know, this is all stuff that that really freaked me out. One time I was talking to my buddy on the phone, and all of a sudden the front doors just started shaking violently. And then I went and I was like, yo, you here? You fucking with me right now? And he's just like, no. And I was like, open the front doors, nothing there. I was like, all right, okay. And then I was just like, I shut the doors, and immediately they just started shaking violently again. And then I looked out the door, and there was no one there. I was like, yo, bro, something fucking weird's going on. And I was like, I'll call you back. And I hang up the phone, and then I look outside, and then there's the sliding glass doors. They start shaking, and there's no one on the other side, but they just start shaking violently, and freaking me the fuck out. So that's everything that really happened in that house. But the other real scary stuff, when I grew up at St. Joan of Arc Catholic Church, there was a graveyard behind our school. And so basically, anytime you looked out the classroom window, you were looking into a graveyard. We used to sit there and like stare at funerals and stuff during our like spelling class, and it was very confusing for all of us. And one day after Boy Scouts, one night we were driving home, and the same kind of thing, a blue shadowy figure was standing in the middle of the road, and me and my mom, my dad, we were driving, and me and my mom were just like, stop, there's someone in the road, stop the car. And my father drove through the person, and me and my mom just started screaming out of our minds. My dad didn't see anything, and we were just screaming out of our minds, like, you just hit somebody with the car. We stop the car, we get out and look, and like there's no one there, and it's nuts. And then we get back into the car, and then all of a sudden the locks on the car just start going up and down like fucking crazy. And then we just went home. Fast forward, I didn't tell anyone this fucking story. Fast forward, I'm 16 years old. I'm driving with Tim Dean, our buddy Tim Dean, and we're driving right past that same cemetery. And then he's just like, Eddie, watch out, there's someone on the road. And I was like, what? I didn't see nothing. And then he was just, and then I drove by, and he was like, dude, there was like a fucking dude. It was like a shadowy blue like dude in the road. I never told him the fucking story. And then he was same exact block, same graveyard. And so that freaked me the fuck out.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane. That is a great story. I think there's certain people that who are attracted to ghosts, like our friend Natalie, our beautiful friend Natalie, who she has always experienced ghost activity, and you're just a person who just always sees it.
So this happened in 2 different houses or 3?
That is, one of them's all that happened in one house.
Okay.
And then the other thing happened outside of the same graveyard.
That's so amazing. Have you experienced any hauntings other than in that house?
Yeah, there's one other thing. My whole family is very obsessed with ghosts and feels
very connected. Your mom's like that. Yeah,
my mom and my aunt.
My mom too.
Yeah, and in my aunt's old place on Bachelor Avenue in Linden, New Jersey, like 2 blocks from Elizabeth.
Bachelor Avenue. Come on down.
There's
She just went there to find a single man. They're all married. What is this bullshit?
It's right next to Irony Street.
So the upstairs of this house was haunted. Nothing really happened on the bottom level, but the upstairs of this place was haunted. They always complained about it, and I used to spend my summers there. And I remember the haunting was there was 3 bedrooms and an attic upstairs, and like a loft space where we all played Atari. And in the middle bedroom was the most concentrated of the hauntings. And there was always a dude in the closet, and then in the attic area were 2 little kids. And sometimes you would hear, like, kids or whatever. And I swear to God, also, I'm 5, right. So I could be way off.
Yeah, of course.
But like,
I mean, I saw a goblin when I was 7.
Exactly. So.
You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello, Marcus. Kill your parents.
Wait. So
just Marcus looking in the mirror.
Yeah. And so there's just like, I wake up and there's just like a dude at the end of my bed in the middle haunted bedroom.
Right.
And so we're freaking out. We don't know what's going on. I run out of the room screaming. I go into my cousin Christy's room and I just hug her until I go to sleep.
Was she hot?
No. She's a big girl.
I mean, really. That's why he was able to go to sleep so quickly.